Progressives, this is your trigger warning. Hi folks, welcome back. From the Daily Mail. MAGA is the most extreme political organization in American history. Biden warns of Republicans. Ultra MAGA agenda and suggests they'll ban LGBT children from classrooms if Roe v. Wade is overturned. What the hell does Roe v. Wade have to do with LGBT children? It's incredible. He's signaling they might even reverse Griswold versus Connecticut, a case that struck down a state law banning the use of contraceptives by married couples. Ugh. The MAGA crowd is the most extremely political organization that exists in American history. Recent American history, Biden said. These people are nuts. Absolutely nuts. And I'll tell you why. Just simple facts, even though I guess facts don't matter anymore. The fact of the matter is that conservative people as a group, the right as they call them, really haven't changed that much. In fact, if anything, they've gone a hair left. The right has always been against abortion. Always. They haven't changed their position any. Many Republicans have compromised on the safe, legal, and rare mantra that was done in the 90s under Clinton. But other than that, that's about it. They haven't changed at all. And what the hell does married couples using contraceptives have to do with LGBT children? These people are nuts. Absolutely nuts. Oh, gosh. Could ban LGBT children from classrooms if Roe v. Wade is overturned. And secondly, could even reverse the 1965 Griswold versus Connecticut case that struck down a state law banning the use of contraceptives in married couples. It was a ramp-up in rhetoric from Biden following the Supreme Court leak that caused a firestorm and protests across the country and further condemnation of Florida's so-called Don't Say Gay bill, but bans teachers from discussing sexual orientation and gender identity before third grade. Basically ages 5 to 9. Discussing sex with children that are ages 5 to 9, there is no room for compromise. None. You don't have to know the teacher's sexual orientation, who he, she, or whatever pronoun they want to use relationship is with another adult. When I was a kid in school, most of us didn't even know our teacher's first name, let alone some of their personal sexual relationships. That's nuts. There is no compromise for that. What happens if you have some states change the law that says children who are LGBT can't be in classrooms with other children? Is that legit under the way this decision is written? What the hell does that have to do with anything? Biden questioned referencing a Florida law that bans teachers from discussing sexual orientation and gender identity before third grade. Yeah, 9 years old. 9 years old and under. There is no room for compromise on that. The answer is no. Any questions, talk to your parents. Well, the next things they're going to attack, because this MAGA crowd is really the most extreme political organization that existed in American history, recent American history. I believe I have the rights that I have, not because government gave them to me, because I'm just a child of God. I exist. Yeah, rights, God-given rights that government cannot take away. These people are crazy. You believe in just the opposite. The president's fiery attack on Republicans came just after Trump backed hillbilly elegy author J.D. Vance won the Ohio GOP Senate primary. Oh, there we go. It's about a Senate seat in Ohio and a test on the former president's hold over the Republican Party. On Monday night, a bombshell Supreme Court draft opinion was leaked showing the majority of justices agreed to overturn Roe v. Wade, which, by the way, has absolutely nothing to do with abortion. Does the federal government have the right tomorrow to say, after this day forward, come January 1, 2023, all 16-year-olds and over in the United States can legally purchase and consume alcoholic beverages. No, they don't have the right. That right is the state's right. Even though I think it's dumb that you can have hormone treatments, have body parts lopped off, but not old enough to have a can of Bud. But, I digress. It's up to the states. Even stupid laws. You can go to real prison, real jail at 18, but you can't have a beer or a pack of cigarettes until you're 21. It's incredible to me. You can get married, but you can't have a beer or a pack of cigarettes. It's insane, but that's some New York. I'm in New York, upstate, not New York City. They have the right to be wrong, I guess. And that's kind of the point. Roe v. Wade was bad law. Always has been, always will be. The only problem is, though, this is the first time that the Supreme Court justices heard a case like this to basically rule on Roe v. Wade since 1972 or 3. I remember I was in high school. It's bad law, period. Has nothing to do with abortion. Let's read what our president is saying concerning the MAGA crowd.
What happens if you have a state changes the law saying that children who are LGBTQ can't be in classrooms with other children? Is that legit?
Look at the lady looking at him with her eyes. Watch on the right there. Look at her look at him. It's funny.
Under the way the decision is written? What are the next things that are going to be attacked? Because this MAGA crowd is really the most extreme political organization that's existed in American history, in recent American history.
90% of what the so-called MAGA crowd believes in is what you and most Democrats in public office have believed your entire careers up until recently. The so-called MAGA crowd, they believed these things long before Donald Trump became president of the United States. And so did you. So did you. You thought Roe v. Wade was bad law. Almost all the Democrats did, if they were honest, and many of them did say it out loud. About securing the border. About how imports are killing jobs. And we're selling out American workers. You guys all said that. It was common ground. Don't say they're extreme. It's you that's become the extremist. Or you've attached the extremist because that's the only life raft you have left. The rest of your party has walked away from you. Without the real precedent, 26 states are licensed to ban all or most abortions, according to a pro-choice policy group, Get Macher Institute. The Republicans are at war with Mickey Mouse. They're against allowing women to make choices about their own health care and lowering the cost of prescription drugs. I'm just going to say it right out. Absolute bullshit. Well, you guys have been at war with what? Uncle Ben, Aunt Jemima? All those brands have been changed because of morons like you, Jen Psaki? About some cream of wheat the other day. It had the older black gentleman on there for decades and decades and decades. He actually was a real person. I believe he was a chef in New York City, I believe. His family was really pissed when they took him off. They're erasing black history, black icons they're throwing out. And we're the extremists? On Tuesday, Biden said the Supreme Court decision could affect gay marriage and other laws they relied on the right to privacy. How? The president said in a statement it could regulate all the decisions in Americans' private life, such as who you marry, whether or not you decide to conceive a child or not, or whether or not you can have an abortion, a range of other decisions. Nobody's stopping you from conceiving and having a child. And this stuff about the Handmaid's Tale, what a crap. It's just another more bullshit. They left out one part concerning the Handmaid's Tale, and I've seen every episode. It's pretty dark. They forced themselves on the women in the Handmaid's Tale to make them pregnant. They SCX assault on them. I can't say the words. Maybe bullshit will throw this video off the algorithm of YouTube, but I really don't care. They left that part out. Nobody's forcing these women to become pregnant. Biden also touted that his administration reduced the deficit by $350 billion in his first year in office. It was on track to reduce another $1.5 trillion. Oh, God. You know the government will pay down the national debt this quarter for the first time in 6 years. I'll talk about the deficit with my Republican friends. I love it. I reduced it, Biden said. Well, the total is a lot more than when you started, so how the hell is it reduced? Oh, I see how it works. So I get to run up $20,000 on my credit card. When I took over the payments, it was $10,000. I ran up another 10. So now I owe 20. So I'll pay $2,000 of that. So I've reduced the credit card debt. We were the one that ran it up. Unbelievable. I want to hear about fairness. I want to hear about decency, honor, about helping ordinary people. Yeah, and that was happening. The lowest black and Hispanic unemployment in the history of the country since those stats were taken. Ever. Not last 10 years, 5 years, forever. The best numbers. What's the one guy on MSNBC? The lefty there, the business guy. The best numbers of our lives. It was helping people. And the money was flowing in the Treasury pre-COVID. Unbelievable. He's placed new emphasis on deficit reduction. You got a serious set of balls. A serious set of the money bills that you sign, the spending. These people are nuts. Oh, God. Critics note that while Biden is on track for deficit reductions, most of the $5 trillion COVID relief was doled out during 2020 and 21, a time when economic activity and tax revenue sunk due to the pandemic. Of course. Unbelievable. All Americans pay some income tax to have skin in the game, even if it's a small amount. Currently, over half of Americans pay no income tax, the plan says. It's true. My understanding is 57% pay no net federal taxes. The National Senatorial Campaign Committee released what he calls the Ultra MAGA agenda. It's a MAGA agenda, all right. Let me tell you about this Ultra MAGA agenda. This is from Senator Rick Scott of Florida. It's as extreme as most MAGA things are. It will actually raise taxes on 75 million American families, or 90% of 5% of them will make less than $100,000. You've got to have some skin in the game. Even if it's only allows you $50. I know $50 is a lot of money to some people. I get it. But that's $1 a week less. You've got to have some skin in the game. And then you make up your mind when everybody pays into the system that's not disabled or taking Social Security. Everybody pays in the system. Then you'll see the voting change. Do you think it's really fair that 57% of the American people can vote to take money from the other 43 and put it in their pockets? Do you think that's right? This has nothing to do with that. This is about moral right and wrong. Oh, gosh. Then they go on about the abortion in the Supreme Court. Then the leak from the Supreme Court of the United States. That's just horrendous. I hope they ruin that person's career forever. I hope there's some Harvard Law graduate that owes about $250,000 in college loans, and the best job they can get is at McDonald's. First time ever, to my knowledge, that this has been leaked out from the Supreme Court. In the meantime, Democratic governors are rushing to promise that no matter what the Supreme Court does, they will allow abortion in their states, which is their right. That's the entire point. Just like the federal government can't say legal alcohol consumption or purchase at 16. They don't have that right. Only the states do. They would enshrine the right to abortion in a California Constitution. That's their right. I think they're wrong, but they have a right to be wrong. California will not stand by idly as women across America are stripped of their rights, and the progress so many have fought for gets erased. California is proposing an amendment to enshrine the right to choose in our state constitution. There is no doubt as to the right to abortion in this state. The Supreme Court ruling had absolutely zero, or as my cousin says, 0.0 effect on the right to have an abortion. It's bad law because the federal government never had the authority. And even the most, that has two brain cells touching, even the most leftist progressive that knows anything about the law knows that, if you really pinned them down and asked them. Unbelievable. We can't trust the Supreme Court to protect our reproductive rights. It's the states' rights they were protecting, you moron. Newsom, you idiot. What the Supreme Court says California can do, what you're proposing. They're on your side, you jerk. Kathy Hochul, governor of New York, my governor, I refuse to let my new granddaughter have to fight for the rights that generations have had for and won. Rights that should be guaranteed. For anyone who needs access to care, our state will welcome you with open arms. Abortion will always be safe and accessible in New York. Well, if that's what the people in New York want to agree on, I think they're wrong. But here's the funny part. These are the same morons that are saying, get rid of the Electoral College because we need a real democracy. Well, democracy is majority rules. Majority rules, they're saying we're giving majority rules designation to the states. And they're complaining that they have majority rules. I don't get it. This is a Statue of Liberty, lifts her arm tall in the harbor. New York will never stop fighting for what's right. The Statue of Liberty was put there for abortion rights? You dumbbell. Oh, my God. A truly dark day in America, said Governor Phil Murphy, who should have lost. This year I signed the Freedom to Reproduce Choice Act. Reproductive choice. I love that. That's not what it's about. It's a freedom to not reproduce choice act. But if New Jersey wants to do that, that's New Jersey. I want to assure every New Jerseyan that today's news about the Supreme Court will not change access. That's their right. That's what the Supreme Court said, you morons. The funny part is they know that. They know that. There's many states with near total bans. That's true. And that's what the people of that state decided. This isn't about same-sex marriage or contraceptives while you're married or segregation or Jim Crow. None of that. 15-week abortion ban to go in effect July 22nd. July 2022. That's Florida's right. The people's elected representatives picked the people that said that. It's like in New York. I don't like it, but the vast majority of people in New York voted for the Senate and the state assembly members to pass abortion laws here. I think it was despicable how they did it. It showed zero taste in class. I watched the video. The assembly got up and cheered when it passed. And the part that really got to me was there was a law, not too distant past in New York, that if you killed a pregnant woman, you were charged with 2 homicides. And since they made the abortion law change to such late-term abortions, they had to withdraw from law that you were charged with 2 crimes. So now if you kill a woman who's, we'll say, on the urge of giving birth almost, you're only charged with one crime, one murder, not two as in the old days. Because if you do that, you're admitting it's a human and viable life, and you can't do that. That's what turned me against him forever. I changed parties years ago, but I still carried a little tiny bit of Democrat, at least what they want to do to help people. But once they pulled that move here in New York, they lost me forever on everything. I'll never vote for a Democrat again as long as I live in upstate New York, unless it's a relative or a personal friend. That's it. This entire kerfuffle has been brought about as a result of an unscrupulous person trying to subvert the 235 years of tradition. That's the person that leaked the Supreme Court papers concerning their upcoming ruling on basically Roe v. Wade. And you can read on. You know, Mitch McConnell, forget him. It's, you know, in the Los Angeles Department of Homeland Security agents clashed with a crowd of pro-choice activists who took to the streets to express outrage over the draft Roe decision. Well, Ray, how many anti-abortion, pro-life demonstrators were arrested with clashes with police in security over the last 10 years? You can count them on one hand. Oh, God. They were filming aggressively, driving up to a crowd of dozens of enraged activists who had been blocked off streets for their protest in an unlawful assembly and shoving them backwards in the face of their fury. A lone DSH agent was quickly surrounded by screaming protesters, one waving a Soviet Union flag as he used a baton to ward them off and continually shouted, "Back up." Could then be seen shoving a woman as he approached him, saying, "You don't do that. You understand me? Back up." And then there they are. There's the righteous left. And there they are. Anyway, this is enough. You get the point. MAGA is not the extremist. That picture speaks 1,000 words. The most extremist in recent American history. You're an idiot. But that's what the American people chose. This is what happens when you vote against somebody instead of for someone. It's just going to get worse. And November is another 6 months away until the midterms. Who the hell knows what's going to happen next? Until the next time, goodbye and good luck.